Hi, and thank you for taking some time to view this presentation on special education services that are offered for kindergarten students at our elementary schools. My name is Colleen Cook, and I am one of the directors of student services for Elmhurst School District 205. As you can see on this slide, we have 5 student services administrators that support students across the districts as well as teachers for students who require specialized services. First, we have Dr. Kevin Rubenstein, who is our Assistant Superintendent of Student Services. We have 3 directors of student services, myself, Dr. Colleen Cook, Anna Baramas, and Dr. Skip Coombe. And we also have Amanda Madalena, who is our Assistant Director of Student Services. Additionally, we have building administrators with a focus on special education. At each elementary building, we have an assistant principal who supports all of the student services responsibilities at that building. Depending on which school your child attends, these are the folks that you would contact if you have any questions regarding special education services or student service needs. This presentation will provide parents with information that supports a positive and successful move from preschool to kindergarten, discuss the 3 types of meetings that can be held at or with an IEP articulation meeting, review the education, service, and placement process in elementary schools, and provide parents with information about the Special Education Resource Group, also known as SURGE. The purpose of articulation meetings is to have collaboration between families, preschool teams, and elementary school teams. It also helps determine service delivery in the elementary school structure. For the articulation process, it first starts with early childhood and elementary collaboration and student observations. Students with an IEP with an eligibility other than speech and language impairment will have an articulation meeting. It also provides information about kindergarten events at elementary buildings that is shared by each building. The first type of meeting that you could have is just an articulation meeting. This would be if you already had your IEP meeting earlier in the school year, or if you don't have one until April or May. At these meetings, the team will review the student progress, they will discuss accommodations, and discuss the placement for the student's kindergarten year. The second type of meeting that could be held would be an annual review meeting combined with an articulation meeting. The team would conduct the annual review as usual, and then they would discuss placement for the student's kindergarten year. The third type of meeting would consist of a reevaluation, an annual review, and an articulation meeting. The team would determine eligibility as needed. They would conduct the annual review as usual, and then they would also discuss placement for the student's kindergarten year. As you can see on this slide, there is a continuum of special education services and supports in District 205. All the way on the left is full inclusion. This student would not get any support from a special education teacher. At the elementary, we also have push-in resource support. What this looks like is that the special education teacher would push into the general education classroom in order to provide supports for students on their caseload. In grades 6 through 12, we do have a co-taught model. What this looks like is that there's a special education teacher as well as a general education teacher within the classroom teaching the class at the same time. We also have pull-out resource support. This is for students that require more systematic instruction on specific IEP goals. This would look like having the special education teacher take the student out of the general education classroom in order to provide special education support. We also have self-contained instructional programs. These are available at Emerson, Jackson, and Jefferson. This is typically for students that are behind academically and require special education support for all of their literacy instruction, their writing instruction, and math instruction. Finally, we do have 2 self-contained district-wide programs. One of them is the ABC program, which is available at Hawthorne Elementary School, and the other one is the Multi-Needs program, which is available at Edison School. Students that are typically identified for the ABC program are students that have an eligibility category of autism and require a high level of support. And students that typically need support from the multi-needs programs are those that require both functional and academic minutes. When looking at service delivery at the elementary school, this varies for each student and is determined by the IEP team based upon the individual student needs. Again, just as I showed you in the previous slide, there are general education classroom supports as well as special education classroom supports. At the elementary school, we do have a class that is called Acceleration. This is for targeted instruction for the area of greatest need. Typically, students are seen in small groups, and the instruction is differentiated to fit the needs of each student. Just a reminder, this is only available for students that are attending full-day kindergarten. The Special Education Resource Group, or SURGE, is a parent support group for parents that have students with special needs. Um, there are various ways that you can get involved in SURGE. You can look at the D205 SURGE site. There is a SURGE Facebook page. They also have an e-newsletter, and there are SURGE parent reps at every single building. Thank you and have a great day.